I've heard quite a few intentions of writings by now, and they were all different. My intention of writing is definitely very different on account that I come from a world where none of you have ever been yet. I am overlooking more than 125 years. Not that I'm that old, but my parents were born in 1903 and 1907. I was born in 1935, January, and I'm quite sure there's nobody in here that is as old as I am. So we just had Christmas, and every year at Christmas, my mom used to say, "When will we have peace? When will we have peace?" Now, my mom, of course, went through the First World War, the Depression, the Second World War. And after the World Wars, excuse me, came the small wars of Vietnam and Korea. One of my cousins fought in Korea, and that really shows my age. The way I started out telling my children stories is because I lived in a very different world, where we had no cars, we had horses and carriage. We had men who would pull or push their own cart to sell their merchandise. Daily life was very different from what it is now. The only thing that is not different is that in my book is academic, and it is true from the first word to the last word. Every historical happening that is written from the point of view of a child, which I was, it hits home, it is true, it had been researched in all the history books. So if you want to know what a world feels like, you really got to read that book. My intention and my hope was not only to show the world in which I lived, which is totally different from this world, which is also the reason why I have a lot of trouble with my telephone, because I don't get it. But you learn that we really want and need peace. If you know what it feels like as a child to know that tomorrow morning you may not wake up. You're standing in that little room that is the strongest in the house because they're throwing bombs on them, and you don't know whether you make it. You see your little neighbors being bombed and dead. You see your mom's girlfriend nursing your brother. She had milk, which my mom did not, but she lost her baby boy, her second one, in bombing. When you get that, it hurts. You don't want to talk about it. I fully understand why people do not want to talk, especially the men who are fighting, why they don't want to talk about it. It hurts. It hurts like hell, frankly. Mm-hmm. So I did want to tell it because somebody has to tell how horrible it is. And when my daughter, who is the co-author of this book, said to me, "Mom, we know your stories. We need to know what you were feeling." Yeah, well, that was a different story. You really, you have to get back into that emotion. And to get back in that emotion when you're a 5-year-old girl and you see your first shooting and you see how the soldiers are treating that body, that's not an easy thing. And it really is not easy. And when you see the German soldiers rounding up the men that are there still because they need more fighting men, and you see them shooting in the ceilings and the blood drip down, that's not a funny thing, especially not if you know that your dad is sitting on top of the stairs and listening. This was one little advantage of my mom being German. It saved my dad during the war. And after the war, it punished all of us because she was German. Anyways, this book is true, and my intention was maybe by telling the story, some people may think and we'll have a few less wars. It's my hope. I don't know if it will come true, but we don't stop hoping. Where there's hope, there is life, they always say.